Was COVID-19 planned? A deep dive into the conspiracy theory. In late 2019, the world was introduced to COVID-19, a deadly virus that quickly spread across the globe, bringing economies to a halt, forcing billions into lockdowns, and reshaping daily life as we knew it. The official narrative claims that the virus originated in a seafood market in Wuhan, China, jumping from animals to humans. However, not everyone accepts this explanation. A growing number of skeptics believe that the pandemic was not an accident but a carefully orchestrated event, designed and executed by powerful elites with a hidden agenda. This theory, often referred to as the plandemic, suggests that COVID-19 was deliberately engineered or at least used as a tool for control, profit, and social restructuring. But how did this idea gain traction, and what are the key pieces of evidence that believers point to? Strange pre-pandemic warnings, were they predicting the virus? Long before COVID-19 surfaced, there were eerie warnings from high-profile figures that a global pandemic was coming. Bill Gates' 2015 TED Talk. In this now infamous speech, billionaire Bill Gates warned that the greatest threat to humanity was not nuclear war, but a global pandemic. He detailed how the world was unprepared and suggested a need for mass vaccinations and digital health tracking. To conspiracy theorists, this was not a warning, it was a blueprint. Event 201, just months before the outbreak, the World Economic Forum, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Johns Hopkins University hosted a simulation called Event 201, which eerily resembled the COVID-19 crisis. It focused on a fictional coronavirus pandemic, discussing how governments and corporations should respond. Was this a mere coincidence, or was it a rehearsal for the real event? The Wuhan lab leak theory, a virus with unnatural origins? One of the most debated aspects of the COVID-19 conspiracy is whether the virus originated naturally from animals or was created in a lab. The Wuhan Institute of Virology, just miles from the seafood market where COVID-19 was allegedly first detected, this facility was known for researching bat coronaviruses. Some believe that the virus was either engineered or accidentally leaked from this lab. Gain-of-function research. The lab was conducting controversial gain-of-function experiments, modifying viruses to make them more dangerous. If COVID-19 was a result of this research, did it escape by accident, or was it released deliberately? At first, mainstream media dismissed the lab leak theory as misinformation, but as more scientists and intelligence agencies acknowledged its possibility, the idea gained credibility. Who profited? The financial motives behind COVID-19. If the pandemic was planned, who stood to benefit? Big Pharma's record profits. Pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson made billions from vaccine sales. Some theorists believe the pandemic was engineered to force global dependence on vaccines, creating an endless cycle of booster shots and medical control. The Great Reset. The World Economic Forum, WEF, introduced the concept of the Great Reset, which envisions a complete overhaul of the global economy. Critics argue that COVID-19 was used as an excuse to accelerate this agenda, pushing for digital IDs, cashless economies, and mass surveillance. Lockdowns and social control, a global experiment? One of the most chilling aspects of the COVID-19 conspiracy is the idea that the virus was used as a tool for mass compliance and control. Government overreach. Under the guise of public health, governments imposed lockdowns, travel bans, and censorship. Was this really about safety, or was it a test to see how far people could be controlled? The rise of digital surveillance, vaccine passports, QR codes, and tracking apps became normal. Some theorists believe this was a step toward a social credit system, where governments monitor and control behavior under the pretext of public safety. Mysterious whistleblowers and unanswered questions. Several individuals have spoken out against the official COVID-19 narrative, often facing censorship, career destruction, or worse. Dr. Li Wenliang, the Chinese doctor who first warned about COVID-19 was silenced by authorities before mysteriously dying of the virus. Was this a cover-up? Censored scientists and doctors, many medical professionals who questioned the safety of vaccines, the effectiveness of lockdowns, or alternative treatments had their careers ruined and their voices erased from social media. Final thoughts: was COVID-19 a planned event? While the mainstream narrative attributes the pandemic to natural causes and government mismanagement, conspiracy theorists argue that too many coincidences and unexplained events suggest something more sinister. Did powerful elites manipulate the pandemic to reshape society? Was COVID-19 a bioweapon, a lab accident, or a convenient excuse for control? Are we now living in a new world where fear can justify any restriction on our freedoms? Regardless of what you believe, one thing is clear: COVID-19 changed the world forever, and the full truth behind its origins may never be revealed. What do you think? Planned or just a tragic accident? Let us know in the comments.